it's a team that's performed all over the world. It comes over to Europe pretty much every display season, but they've also flown further afield. Many other Middle Eastern countries, of course. They perform out in Indonesia, but they're absolute staples of the Royal.
And as well as regular RIAT participants, they are also stable in Europe, this being the third air show in Europe. They started in France a number of weeks ago. The aircraft will flow into Europe and into France in the back of a C-130 and then reassembled there with their first display in Europe taking place at Orange Air Base.
So they're nearly ready, they are tipping in, they're starting off in box formation, so look out in front of you as they head towards the main display line. They'll shortly be putting the smoke on to start the 2025 show by the Royal Jordanian Falcons. So the team starting off in box formation, forming a corso-clover manoeuvre, rolling right and pulling through, and they'll be staying in this very tight box formation for an initial barrel roll. This manoeuvre so named because the aircraft basically describing the inside of a managed barrel. Watertight formation. This is led for the 2025 display season by Champion Zaya, who first joined the Royal Jordanian Falcons back in 2002. He is currently Director of Operations and leader of the team. In fact, he first assumed leadership back in 2005 and returned on various occasions since. He joined the Royal Jordanian Air Force in 1992, graduating from King Hussein Air College. 3 years later, he has had experience in the North F5 and the F7 F4. So, we go over to the right and coming back down the display line, we'll see some change to this formation out of the box and into Team Tango. They pull up as if to perform an ordinary Cuban 8 maneuver, but they're going to exit it still inverted with a painful negative G push.
With a limit of 23 feet and a wingspan of just 26 feet. Engine of 315 horsepower, so like going 80 iron 580 V1A. It's no surprise that this aircraft has been the mount for many championship winners across the globe.
Yes, the extra 330 is still the mount of the French Air Force, Air and Space Forces national competition aerobatic squad, the équipe de voltige de l'armée de l'air et de l'espace. But here we see the Royal Jordanian Falcons again exiting inverted in front of us as they head towards the display line, and they're going to be performing this time an inverted turn.
across France and cables back to Rome. Gives the aircraft a never exceed speed of 219 knots and a normal operating speed of aerobatic 254. And what that means is if you stay below 154 knots, you will not overstress the aircraft with full scale deflection and elevator controls.
A design that the name suggests by a German aircraft extra, and we're seeing it used so splendidly by the Royal Jordanian Falcons here as they perform another quarter-clover manoeuvre out in front of us to reposition the B-axis. The A-axis of the display line parallels the main runway. The B-axis is at right angles to that. They head away from us now to get ready for the first of the splits in this display. There they go, two to the left, two to the right, and this is their salute to you. This is the Royal Jordanian Falcons heart. And as they cross out there in the distance to the north, the two aircraft, of course, under the radio command of the team leader, Jamil Zayak, as he calls his colleagues back in onto the main A-axis. And they're heading towards the display centre for a crossover. Three of the aircraft clearing off to the similar capabilities of the extra EA300. The slot man is Feraz Al-Waitat, who joined the Royal Jordanian Air Force in 2006. Graduated from King Hussein Air College in 2010 as a pilot flying the F-16 fighter Falcon. He's been on the Royal Jordanian Falcons since 2021. Very fine aviator, his late graduate, King Hussein bin Talal, joined the Royal Jordanian Falcons, the Falcons, back in 1976 on the Pit Specials. His intention was, the team says, to promote the big family, peace, and friendship to the world through the art and science of aviation. Watch now off to the left as the solo crosses over with the three-ship formation. Pulling up for a loop on the 45-degree line. And the leader into a barrel. Complete the barrel roll, the solo re-enters. King Hussein, a very enthusiastic pilot himself, who for many years became a patron of the International Air Tattoo. Number 2 and 3 performing synchronised stall turns off on the 45-degree line to the right. And now we see the leader of the right wingman going into mirror formation, the left wingman barrel rolling dynamically around smoke. Jordanian Falcons since 2016. He's an achieved pilot. He's working in the same Air College, flying the F5 because transition to the Air Force's transport fleet of the
as well as being the smallest aircraft on display in RIAT, it is the only one with a maximum takeoff weight of just over 2,000 pounds and a cost of somewhere in the region of 350,000 pounds, plus the inevitable VAT. You can afford it, you can fly it.
There's always something going on in this display, so as the solo exits off to the half left, goes to the knife edge to cross with the free ship running back in big formation now for another of the important cloverleaf manoeuvres that are such a good way of changing display axis. And they split all the way down. Something of the outstanding power to weight ratio of the extra EA 330 LX. The solo comes back in for a session of freestyle aerobatic manoeuvres up into the vertical and then tail sliding back down through his own smoke. Transitioning into a spin. Several complete rotations before a very smart recovery. And rolling off into the distance as the free ship gets ready for one of the signature manoeuvres of the Royal Jordanian Falcons. They're in big formation out in front of us. They pull up. They're still inverted as the solo crosses them, heading underneath them and pulling up behind them as the team begins to roll upright. As I say, the team comes from what's known officially as the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, and the manoeuvre they're setting up for now is called the Hashemite Break. Break, go! Graduate who's flown F5 and the F-16. He's been a member of the Royal Jordanian Falcons since 2013. Extras all over the sky at the moment, but they'll shortly be re-rolling across the display centre as the leader dives down behind them and the solo rolls up into the vertical for a series of vertical rolls. Specials with the extra 300, they upgraded to the low-wing 300L model before changing in 2018 to this, the ultimate, the 330 LX. So now the trio of extras off to the left, the solo diving in from the right. Performing a very tiny loop rock steady formation flying. Now, One of the most what is the central line? It's
converting to top rudder and then transitioning to normal flight. However, because you've got two aircraft on the outside that are going or are describing a circle around the leader, quite often the wingman will be cross-controlled, so cross-controlled at the top of the maneuver. Very, very hard to fly away and far harder than it is as a solo aircraft. But that entire maneuver took about 6,000 feet, so 1 to a mile. Yeah, really difficult and quite uncomfortable for the two on the outside.
They're sitting in box formation for the moment, and we're going to see them moving back onto the display line for another repositioning clothing, I think. So the death of the late King Hussein, one of the highlights of that year's Royal International Air Tattoo here at Fairford was the sight of his personal de Havilland Dove VIP transport escorted by the 4 extras of the Falcons, and with a missing man salute provided by number 6 Squadron Royal Air Force with its Jaguars. That squadron spent a great deal of time operating out in Jordan. Well, we're coming towards the final part of this superb display. That cloverleaf maneuver used to come back onto the B-axis in front of us. They're setting up into what they call Concorde formation, and this is for their final maneuver. This is for their Concorde fan brake. We give you the 2025 very, very polished indeed, wasn't that, Mark? Al-Huda and Faras Al-Waita. But now we're heading back in time to World War II and to the Royal Air Force once again, and a sight we are delighted to be seeing because, as Mark was saying, rightful place at the helm of our next display. They're going to be running in from behind us. It's going to be a crowd rear arrival and a tree aircraft. Avalanche 1, Hawker Hurricane 2C, and the world's only genuine Battle of Britain veteran Supermarine Spitfire, a Mark 2A. The Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight.
They've got sold, nobody else is allowed to refuel them, but they didn't.